Christina, thank you. 6:01, and we begin with the fight for Florida and the Republican nominee for governor, Ron DeSantis, making his final pitch, crisscrossing the state to motivate his base to turn out and vote.
His Democratic opponent, Andrew Gillum, visiting some old stomping grounds and bringing in surrogates with star power. And it appears voters are listening to those calls to turn out and vote.
Well before the polls closed, hundreds of people were standing in line at early voting locations in Miami-Dade and Broward counties, some waiting as long as 2 hours to vote. CBS 4's Karli Barnett begins our team coverage now live from the Broward County Supervisor of Elections office. Karli, good morning.
Good morning, Lauren and Maribel. Today should be relatively calm compared to the jam-packed day we saw at the polls yesterday, which kind of gives you a clue at what Election Day is going to look like tomorrow. As you mentioned, some people waiting in line for more than 2 hours, and the last woman in line at one of the locations here in Broward County finally cast her vote at 9:30 p.m. As the sun was setting, voters continued to wrap around the outside of the Miramar Library.
And I'd never seen anything like this before.
The line was overwhelming the early voting sites, leading to 2-hour waits.
And I'll wait as long as it takes to get my vote in, so hopefully everybody else feels the same way.
Most stayed. Pizza to the polls provided some dinner. The turnout had been remarkable for a midterm election, voters streaming in from open to close.
We went and had breakfast, went over the sample ballot, discussed who we were going to vote for, and just came on over. And we were surprised there were actually quite a lot of people here this morning, which was great to see.
I think it's going to be very close, so I think every vote counts.
Voters appeared more passionate than years past. Republicans looking to keep control of Congress and the governor's mansion.
I just drove all the way back from Georgia to make sure I can come down here and vote.
Democrats looking at the vote as a referendum on the President of the United States.
We're looking for change.
The line in Miramar swayed heavily toward Democrats, exactly why Democratic gubernatorial candidate held a rally 200 yards away.
We just walked past one of the most impressive early vote lines that we have seen. And we did that because we wanted to encourage the people there to stay in line. We got to win this thing, y'all.
Just after 9:30, the last early voter cast their ballot. Now just Election Day left to make it count. More than 260,000 early in-person votes were cast just in Broward County. And to give you some perspective, that is double than what we saw 4 years ago. And something else to keep in mind, if you do have an absentee ballot, there are about 1 million absentee ballots that have not been sent in yet. It is too late probably to do that by mail with Election Day tomorrow. So your options are to take that to the election office itself in person. You can also just go ahead and vote tomorrow as normal at your local voting precinct. You can bring that absentee ballot with you. They will cancel it out and your vote will still count. Live in Lauderhill, Karli Barnett, CBS 4 This Morning.
Karli, thank you. In Miami-Dade County, voters were also met with long lines due to some technical issues. At the North Miami Library, many were forced to wait longer than expected because printers were not working. However, everyone who waited was still able to vote on pre-printed ballots.
I could have been in line for 8 hours. It wouldn't make a difference for me. I know what's at stake. People just need to come down and vote, man. Don't worry about everything after that.
The Miami-Dade Elections Department doesn't know what caused the hiccup, but ballots couldn't be printed after IDs were scanned. Voters tell us the issue lasted just under 5 hours.